Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a thrill for me to be with you here at CinemaCon with my friend Michael O'Leary and Cinema United, and all of you, all the leaders who bring theaters to life. And in any case, there's nothing really noteworthy happening in Washington, D.C. nowadays. I mean, everything is just great inside the Beltway where I live, so I thought I'd bring some positive D.C. vibes to Vegas for yet another exciting early morning talk on policy. Well, in all seriousness, every year, being in this room is a reminder of what this business means to so many. A source of jobs, a cornerstone of culture, a space where you can enter a room with friends and strangers bound solely by common interest in a powerful story. Our partnership with you honors the impact of this medium worldwide, but we all know that cinema holds a special place in American life. This July 4th, America turns 250, and for over half of that time, movies have played a starring role. That, guys, that began in theaters. At the Vitascope, the first storefront theater in New Orleans. At the Edisonia, the world's first permanent theater in Buffalo. At the Washington, Iowa State Theater, the longest continually running cinema in the United States. This is not a subplot in our country's narrative. This is a featured story of our national story. So when the MPA fights for this industry at home and abroad, we're fighting for a larger cause. We're fighting for American workers and businesses, for ideals of free speech and free expression, for a vision of film's capacity to bring us together. We're fighting for you. And right now that fight continues on what I highlighted last year when I was here in Vegas, how to keep U.S. film production strong. Our campaign is making progress with growing incentives in New Jersey and California and beyond, helping states attract creators to their communities. But that battle doesn't end at state lines. It's happening in Washington, D.C. too, and we're at the center of it all, together with the studios, unions, guilds, producers, President Trump's Hollywood ambassadors, and more, engaging the White House and Republicans and Democrats in Congress on what would honestly be a true game changer for our industry, a federal film tax incentive. And we're fighting daily to reach that goal, and we're going to keep fighting to make America a more competitive place to make movies. At the heart of all of our work is the notion that drives the success of our industry. In a word, trust. Because in what we know is a tough, uncertain moment right now for many in this field, maintaining the trust of audiences and artists is absolutely critical. People should be able to trust the content on their screens, and audiences should be able to trust that cinema remains free from censorship. MPA ratings system that we all created together has existed for nearly 60 years to uphold that charge. It's a trusted guide for parents and the public, and it's central to our partnership with you and with Cinema United. And it works. Look at the polling data today. Show me another institution with 91% approval rating, one that's earned similar numbers for decades. Certainly nobody in politics gets these numbers, but our ratings do. In fact, they're so popular that even Instagram tried to make unauthorized use of PG-13 standards on their teen accounts. Now, we understand why. Social media is getting hit left and right by investigations about online safety for kids. They're looking for ways to reassure families. But movies and theaters don't face these challenges because our ratings are known, they're tested, they're trusted. And for decades, they've protected us all, studios and cinemas, from that same scrutiny. They ensure parents have the information they need to make the right decisions for their children. And on top of that, digital spaces are flooded with tens of millions of videos each day that are literally impossible to rate, and certainly not the kind of curated films you'd find in your theaters. So when the issue arose with Instagram in recent months, we went to the mat. And it's not very often. I've been at the MPA now for almost 9 years, and I can assure you it's not very often that the MPA takes on a $1.6 trillion company. But in this case, in defense of our ratings, and your theaters and the trust we built with families together, we knew it was the right thing to do. And we made it clear. There's something very distinct about what's discovered in a theater from what users find online. Well, 2 weeks ago, we achieved our goal. Instagram and Meta agreed to the limits that we demanded, which keeps our ratings focused where they belong, on films you can see on the big screen. Let there be no doubt, on my watch, no one is going to confuse movies shown in your theaters with user-generated content people watch on their phones. We will always, thank you, we will always fight to defend the integrity of ratings, no matter how big the adversary. We will always fight to preserve the trust that we forged with parents, and we will always fight to protect theaters as trusted places of entertainment for absolutely everyone. People should also be able to trust what they see on your screens is, at its core, human, created by brilliant storytellers whose work is strengthened by our belief in innovation. I mean, let's never forget, copyright is the lifeblood of the film industry, and preserving it is non-negotiable. It is so essential to our national character that it's even inscribed in the United States Constitution. But let's remember something else. Our industry was founded thanks to a radical leap in technology. Innovation is part of our DNA too. And every time we've seen a new advancement in our industry and we've been told that the end is near, we've persisted, we've adapted, we've thrived. We've always embraced what technology could do in the hands of creators to bolster the art of storytelling. Now we've entered the era of AI, and none of us should ignore its potential dangers, but nor should we dismiss its possibilities. We should view it, as we do its predecessors, as a tool that can enhance human creativity, not replace it. We should focus on how to develop and use AI responsibly. We should see AI the way many already do, as a means to improve the fan experience or enable artists to explore novel formats. But no matter what, no matter how AI might change the game, we will remain clear about our core principles, protecting copyright as the engine of free expression, defending intellectual property as the driving force of our creative community. Now, there's some who say, believe it or not, that we should just sweep away copyright to keep pace with America's rivals and gain ground on the geopolitical arena. But guys, that's a false choice. At our best, what sets our industry and our nation apart is our fidelity to the rule of law, matched by our openness to change. We can and we must do both. Upholding copyright is an economic necessity too. And I'm sure you guys know the core copyright industries contribute $2 trillion to America's GDP and provide paychecks to more than 12 million American workers. So let's be clear. We will never waver in protecting those foundational rights from any threat. AI will not alter that stance. And when anyone violates or misuses copyright, we're going to take them on. A case in point, you may have caught up, the whole rollout of a new text-to-video model that is called CDance 2.0, launched by a Chinese company. It's a commercial service that clearly infringes on our studio's intellectual property to generate videos using characters and stories from our favorite movies. The moment we saw it, we understood the stakes for all of us. We recognized that the flood of illegally created videos featuring copyrighted content would threaten the livelihoods of the entire creative workforce, and most importantly, keep fans from catching the real thing in your theaters. The very day it appeared, the very day those videos appeared online, the MPA made our position plain. This platform was disregarding well-established law, and its infringing activity must cease immediately. We told them no in no uncertain terms. You cannot steal copyrighted material and get away with it. You cannot violate the rights of creators, threaten millions of jobs, and undermine cinema as we know it. We called out this violation right away. We made it clear that we would not allow this threat to stand. And after our swift and, dare I say, bold action, ByteDance took our feedback. They announced plans to implement guardrails on the service. And as they continue to roll out this platform in different markets, including the United States, we're going to hold their feet to the fire to ensure their guardrails are effective and our studio's intellectual property is protected. We've delivered this message time and time again. When the White House recently prepared to roll out their national framework on AI last month, we worked hard to ensure that it reaffirmed what's always been true. Copyright protections and innovation are twin pillars of our national strength, and that must continue to be the case today. When copyright is under assault anywhere, we act to reaffirm its promise. We will keep fighting to strengthen the reach of human creativity, to maximize the power of technology for good, to reinforce copyright's role in the age of AI. We're going to keep fighting to ensure audiences can trust what's coming soon to a theater near you. Trust, innovation, creativity, all of it is part of a tradition that dates back to the very founding of America and remains vital to America's future. In the earliest days of our republic, our second president, John Adams, wrote this about the arts. He said, "I must study politics and war so that my sons may study mathematics and philosophy, so that their children would have a right to study painting, poetry, music, architecture, and more." Our founders of this great nation risked their lives to build a country where their descendants would have the liberty to wonder and create. A country where this industry is not only possible, but where it's the fullest expression of our most cherished ideals of freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States would exist without the movies, but it wouldn't be the same. It'd be less creative, less imaginative, less connected, because cinema helps us see perspectives that we never thought we'd grasp, travel to places we never thought we'd go, open frontiers we never thought we'd discover, pursue unknown horizons filled with trademarks of our industry's strength and our nation's spirit, possibility, and hope. As we celebrate America's 250th birthday, that legacy is our inheritance. That duty falls to us, to fight for the rights of every generation to make, watch, and enjoy incredible art, to be awed and inspired all over again by the enduring power of great stories well told. Thank you very much.